I'm pretty much sweet if you're sweet, bro.
Easy, bro. I'm
A
down.
little bit of energy. I've only been up for half an hour.
Yeah, bro, it's insane. So you do night shifts still?
Yeah, I do. Through the night, I do it from Sunday night to Thursday night. So I do 5 nights where I do subcontracting work. So I work for myself, contract to other companies, and I do refrigeration, air conditioning, electrical, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, yep.
And I'll cut this little word out. I'm allowed to say it. I've been in trouble before, but I work for.
Oh, right. Okay.
And yeah, I've been in big trouble before for talking about
Yeah,
this.
wow.
They've had to make me remove the episodes and shit off YouTube.
That's insane.
It's long.
Yeah.
Obviously, I do it because the pay's better. That's why I do the nights.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool because I get to like schedule my episodes as well. Like, if we can do afternoon, I sleep in the morning. If we do morning, sleep in the afternoon.
Yeah. That's hectic.
And I'm working it all out. Because I used to do it years ago. Then I've had a year and a bit off. And then I'm back doing it now for the last 3 weeks. And I've been bad, bro. Like, I've been like, episodes are at like 10 a.m. and I've been messaging people, sorry, I can't do it.
I can't. Yeah, I've just got no sleep. Like,
feels so bad, eh?
Well, it's life, unfortunately, especially like when you're on the grind, man. Everything kind of comes into play, you know. It's not that simple to just, I can do this. You know,
no. And you know what the annoying thing is, and I mean this too, like, I genuinely enjoy it. And I enjoy it just enough to not hate it and quit and find something else to do. So I'm fucking stuck there, bro.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard to balance things. It's tough.
Yeah.
That's the problem with like this life as like a influencer, creator, artist, whatever, you know. In the early stages, there's a lot of sacrifices and there's a lot of, you know, things you got to give up, or times when you got to give up sleep to make sure that you can do this thing. And then it's a whole problem in itself, which people wouldn't understand, you know. So
but you know what I think is cool too? Okay, but just making sure. I thought microphones weren't on. Microphones aren't on. Yeah, sweet. I kind of been thinking lately how putting in all this extra effort in now, grinding, fucking sacrificing sleep, sacrificing rec time, and even food, bro. I barely eat at the moment. Like, you got to try and learn how to manage and balance everything. And there is no such thing as a perfect balance. Like, something goes good, everything else falls down. You try and pick them back up.
Yep.
But I'm kind of thinking it might all just be preparation for having kids, because my ultimate goal is to be a dad and to be the best dad I can be. And I'm not going to be sleeping, bro. You know what I mean?
No, especially not in those early days, those first few years. It's tough, bro.
Yeah,
like,
bro. And
not that I know. I'm not a dad. But yeah, like, yeah.
And I reckon any part of it, bro, like even when they get to certain ages, say they did sport or dancing, like my siblings did swimming, so my mum was up at 4 a.m. My sister did dancing. That was at 5 o'clock. Like, I think it's going to be very hard to manage life. Plus, you have to have a career. Plus, you have to have your own health and fitness and lifestyle and hobbies and things like. I think this early grind, bro, it might be preparing everyone who's ambitious to be good parents, to raise more ambitious children, bro.
I think so. I mean, that's a good point you touch on, bro, because one of my biggest things in life is ambition. Like, that is my goal. When I look at a girlfriend, when I look at a partner who I want to spend the rest of my life with, I want that girl to be ambitious. Like, I need her to have her own hustle, and doesn't necessarily have to be entrepreneurial. Like, she doesn't have to own a business or whatever, but just like big goals, because like, especially in our generation, bro, like I feel like it's getting lost. Like, I feel like a lot of people are complacent with where they're at, and they hide that with content. They're like, oh, I'm content with this. Like, oh, I don't need the flashy stuff. But it's like, deep down, you want it. Yeah. And then you sit there and you act like, oh, no, I don't need that. I'm content. I'm happy where I am. And it's like, are you really? You know, like, for me, I've always strived. I always say, like, it's half a joke, half a not. But, like, I want it all. Man, I want everything and anything. You know what I mean? Like, I will take it all. So for me, I'm like, that's kind of where I'm at. And I want to also be a good person in that mix. Like, I don't want to hurt people to get to one level. I don't want to do anything like that. But at the same time, I think I want to be very ambitious, and I have been so far. And I think it's extremely important for us to do that, and then to raise our kids like that too. You know, like, I want my kids to take over the world, bro. Like, you know, I want them to do everything. You know, like,
bro, you're giving me so many little dot points across that. So, like, the first one, how most people get complacent. I had a mate named Josh. He was like a mentor when I was younger. Turns out he lives next door. He's like in the next building. Like, he's come and done a podcast years ago when I was over at the old studio. But he said to me in our episode that the reason why most people aren't millionaires is because subconsciously they're aware of the work it takes to become a millionaire. And then they just like to say, oh, it's too hard. I won't be able to do it. It's not for me, because they're not ambitious enough, you know? Maybe it's a bit of self-doubt, disbelief. But on top of that, the ambitious side of things, like I want it all, resonate, bro. And it's like having the ambition makes you think to yourself, like, I want it because I deserve it, and I deserve it because I'm willing to work for it, you know?
That's it.
And I'm only willing to work for it as well because I deserve it.
Yes,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
There's like this delusion, or people call it delusion, but like there's this like underlying thing in your life where it's like you deserve it, you know, like you not in like a cocky way, but just in like a personal way, like you believe you should have that and you want to work to get that, you know. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all, but some people out there are like, oh, that's bad to have that mindset and blah blah blah, but like, how else are you meant to do it? You know, when you have that mindset of, oh, it's bad, you don't get anywhere. So it's like, what's the point? You know, you may as well shoot high. You know, so.
I reckon I'm going to circle back because I reckon I'm going to go very deep on that whole mindset side of things as well. But I'll start the conversation with a couple of easy things. I'm familiar with you. I had a chat with you 2 weeks ago, maybe it was.
Yeah, about that.
2 weeks ago. Down at the Pop the Balloon, Manly.
That's the one,
How did you go? How did you go for the day? Did you enjoy it?
Oh man, yeah, it was a fun day, bro. It was really good. It was a different experience, but no, I had a fun day. Like everybody who's asked me, like I've got nothing to fault. Like the only problem was like it was hot. Like you would know that it was so hot in there. My videographer's camera just would not turn on. It was that hot. Bro, no, it was a cook today, but other than that, it was hilarious. Like, the episode's coming out. Probably by the time this comes out, it will be out. Man. So like, man, like it's
I'll put a link for it down below. For sure. I think this episode might come out not this week, but the following week. So a little bit of time.
Yep.
And bro, I remember like it was cool as well because like you lads had the balloons, which I didn't even know Pop the Balloon did. I've only ever seen the clips of girls popping balloons. And it was cool because like girls would come out and genuinely, as soon as they'd start talking, you'd watch different people pop balloons for different reasons, bro. And I was like, and then you pop one pretty quick, and then you accidentally pop one too.
I did, That happened a few times actually. I don't know. I must have been holding the balloon in the same hand as the pin and just popped it. That happened.
Damn. But it was sick as well because like Olin, the geezer from UK that came over here. Bro, watching how big a content creator can grow in such a short period of time, because I think maybe I started watching him 3-4 years ago.
Same, yeah, man. I had a look at my TikTok, bro. He was like the 15th person I ever followed on my account.
Well.
Yeah,
I reckon he'd be in the top few as well for me. Like, it's just crazy to see, like, and that's what I mean, bro. It's that ambition that he would have had to. He would have probably imagined himself getting to a place like that before he got there.
100%, man. And I think most people do. You have these visions, whether it's like a glimpse. Like I always like to say, and maybe this is delusional, maybe people would call me crazy, but I like to say that there are certain times where I'll just be doing something completely random or like unrelated to music whatsoever, and then I'll just have like a glimpse of like, it's only for like a split second, but it would be like a glimpse into like this lifestyle that I want to create, you know. And I feel like a lot of people who are successful, want to be successful, have moments like that, and it looks different for everybody, but I think a lot of people who share kind of the similar ambitious sides that I have probably feel the same way. So, yeah.
I heard J. Cole talk about it on an Instagram reel this morning, maybe. Could have been yesterday. He was saying how in order to have success, you have to have 3 things. And one of the things he referenced was an imagination to your highest, truest self. So you have to be able to envision yourself as the highest possible individual. Where do you want to be? What do you want to look like? How do you want to walk? What do you want to say? What routine, all this stuff. And if you can imagine that and you believe it, then the universe will start to meet you in the middle and it will start to come at you, you know? And I've actually heard Theo Von have a very good perspective on that as well, that the universe will meet you halfway.
For sure.
Like, damn, bro, you know?
And that's it, bro. Like I'm a Christian myself and
I'd love to talk to you about that too.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I'm pretty like strong in my religion, but I guess have a different take on Christianity than like, I guess, the masses. But for me, I just believe that it's like a personal journey, a personal connection between you and God. I don't think there's a need for all the theatrics that come with it these days of like even going to church, man. Like half these people that go to church are just like ridiculous in my mind. You know, they just will act good on a Sunday and then they'll go do coke on the Monday. You know what I mean? It's like, not there's anything wrong with it. You know, people want to party, do whatever. I don't care. But like, I just think, a lot of people who go to church they want to act like they're some high and mighty and really good person. And sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're absolute gronks at home. And, You know, so for me, I'm like, okay, well, I don't need the theatrics. I believe it's a personal connection, and I've had many points. Like, do you want me to get into a story of mine? That's like,
Please
man,
do. Because I'm a strong believer myself, and I understand that sometimes when my stories come across, like people aren't able to resonate with them. So when I hear someone else have a story about their own journey and their own interactions, I'm like, please, bro.
For sure, man. Well, like for me, I was born and raised Christian. Like I went to a Christian school in Penrith where I grew up, and like, yeah, for me, I never really was outside of the religion, so to speak. But I also wasn't like in it, you know. I think a lot of Christian, especially kids that grow up in like Christian families or religious families or whatever, probably have the same experience. Like they will say they're Christian, but they don't feel it. They don't like, it doesn't resonate.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was like, I had small little things throughout the way, but the most like defining moment in my life was when I was 20, which is.
And you're 25?
I'm 25. Yeah. So 5 years ago. And that's when I started making music in 2020. So it's almost been 6 years. It was in October 2020, I dropped my first song. So like at the end of the year. So, yeah, pretty much I was dating this girl, and prior to making music, I was running a business in the music industry. So I was like doing music videos, interviews with artists, that sort of stuff. And deep down, I always knew that I wanted to be the artist. I didn't want to be behind the camera. Anyways, I'm dating this girl, COVID happens, and she started dating me when I was doing this business and everything like that. Then I make the decision during COVID, like, hey, I want to actually like start making music. And she was the first one that chopped down my tree. Why would you do that? You're 20, like, you're not going to make it, like, blah, blah, blah. And, like, you know, all good, like, it's fair enough. She didn't really come from, like, an entrepreneurial family like that, so I understand why she might have had, like, those limiting beliefs. But for me, I just genuinely believed that it was a possibility. So I started doing it. We then broke up in September of 2020, and it was then when I started to really, like, I guess, try and figure out what I wanted for my life and where I was going to head. And this is where Christianity comes into it. So one day I was on a walk, and I was listening to like Hillsong music, gospel music, and I was just praying, like, where do I need to be? Like, I feel being called to music is this thing. And at the time I was like experimenting with songs. I hadn't put anything out. I was just learning how to make music. And I was like, I need to, like, I feel like this is it. Like, give me a sign if this is like the direction I need to go. Literally right after I stopped praying, about 30 seconds later, got a phone call from a friend of mine who I hadn't spoken to for like pretty much the whole entire year at that point. And then he was like, do you want to come to the studio today? And he was like, I saw you post on your story a couple of weeks ago that you've been making music. Like, do you want to come? And it was literally like 30 seconds after I stopped praying. And I was like, from that moment on, I was like, this is it. Like, this is the life for me. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't understand what the process is, but I just know that I'm being called to do this. And, you know, so far things have just kind of fell into place, you know? So yeah, I'm just going to keep going and keep believing. But yeah, that was a pivotal point in my life where I was like, this is what I believe in, and this is my reasoning why.
Yeah, so, that's mad, bro. It's cool because, like, you have to be able to take that leap first, which is, because I didn't come from a Christian family. I didn't come from a family where anyone's spiritual in any way. You know, I'll say the term atheist, even though they might say, my family might say, oh, there's something out there, you know. But
they don't
if you're not
believe,
searching, like, I don't think you really believe in, you know.
For sure.
My nan, however, was very spiritual, always pushing messages on me to do with your higher self, your inner child, your energy, or Reiki, or karma, all this, the source. That's what a lot of people call God, the source as well. They're just different terms, I guess, really, but
it's all the same thing.
All the same, bro. Everyone's praying in the same place, you know what I mean? And yeah, I got to a certain age where I started to be curious about it myself, started to just pray out of curiosity. If it's real, here I am giving it a go. And then the same kind of thing happened, bro. Like, I started getting answers to my questions very quickly. Like, sometimes to a microsecond where I'd be praying, like, in the gym, like in the sauna, thinking to myself, like, at 17, I think I might have been 17, like, should I do some steroids, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone out here is like growing quick, and I'm a naturally skinny geezer. Like, I am 60 kilos ready to wet, bro, if I stop eating for a day. And yeah, I'm mid prayer. Then this guy walks into the sauna. Never spoke to him in my life. Sat down next to me and just instantly started talking about how, bro, if you ever think about doing steroids, I wouldn't do it. You know, just straight away, bro, from the jump. And it's just like, ooh, okay, like, coincidence.
This is too, this is like, this is hitting hard right now.
What a coincidence. That's crazy. But then, yeah, bro, enough coincidences have to happen until you start to realize, like, I'm being answered, you know, like if someone's listening, there is someone who's caring, bro, like cares for me. And that's, it's a weird feeling because once you feel it and you start to believe it and practice it, and then it's a constant reassuring positive feedback loop, then it's almost like you have this place in your soul and your spirit that feels like it's actually on something. You know?
I 100% agree, man.
And I think 100%. That's crazy, bro, because like you can go your whole life not knowing that feeling's there, I reckon, until you start to experience it and you realize, oh, it's more of a reassurance to what I believe is true because it feels like what I've got is going somewhere. And then if it wasn't, you'd know. You kind of know, bro.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I think it's a good thing. Like randomly on my TikTok, this rapper popped up. I don't even know what his name is, but I was watching it last night. Now, he was like a normal rapper and then he turned into a Christian rapper. I'm not really into Christian rap. It's not really my thing. I don't see myself as a Christian rapper. I'm a Christian who makes music. You know, I don't do Christian rap. But this dude's story was quite interesting. Like the TikTok I watched, he pretty much just said that he was making music and he was doing all these tours. I think he toured with like Kodak Black and some pretty big rappers and stuff. But he kind of got to a point where he wasn't feeling fulfilled and he felt like he was called to something else. And then he started making Christian music and he kind of has been down that path ever since. And I just find it funny how some people, you know, we're all being called to do something, you know what I mean? And some of us are meant to be influencers and like not influencers in the sense of like, oh, like buy my new thing or whatever, but just we're meant to influence people and meant to use our voice for good. And some people are meant to be, you know, doing whatever, you know, like everybody's got their own journey and what they feel called to do. But yeah, I think it's important to really tap into that kind of thing and search for that. Yeah, for sure.
And I think I do have I have a lot of empathy for when people don't know what that thing is. You know, because like I find fulfillment and passion like every day. I'm going after the things I want to go after. And then I do have a lot of big place in my heart for those people that are just like stuck in a rut of a routine and they're just comfortable being comfortable, bro. It's like, fuck, bro. And it's really good that you said as well, you know, looking for a partner as well who's also ambitious because like I've been in relationships or even gone on dates in the past with girls and what do you want? What are you after? What do you want to do? And it's
I don't know, bro. I dead ass. No shade to this girl because we're still friends, but like I dead ass went on a date one time with this girl, and I asked her what she wanted to do, and she just said she wanted to be a stay-at-home mum. Yeah, and that was her whole ambition. Which, you know, that's cool, right? No, like if that's what you genuinely feel called to do, then go for it. But I know personally, I need a girl that wants more purpose than just that, you know what I mean? Like I want kids and, you know, if she needs to be a stay-at-home mum, cool, but like at least do something.
At least
with
be the best stay-at-home mum in the world, bro,
like,
you know? Like that's it. I'm all for a girl being a stay-at-home mum too, but like fuck, as long as they're like, yeah, I want to be the best mum I can be.
100%.
Like, then I'm like, bro, let's do that. Let's make that happen. We're a team, you know? Bro, I dated this girl one time. I might put this in, I might not. I'll see how I feel,
see how you feel
when I edit this episode. And she told me her goal of life was to be the biggest drug dealer in the world.
That's funny, guys.
I've told her, your dreams are shit.
You know what's funny? I always say that. I say if I had have been a drug dealer, I would have fucking taken over Australia, bro. Like, hands down, bro. Like the way my mind thinks, I think too strategical. I'm not no low level fucking selling weed, bro. I'm like out here doing bricks, man. Like, bro, like crazy, bro. Yeah, bro. Like they'd never get me, and then I'd retire happily because bro, where drug dealers get it wrong, bro, is they just sell and then they spend all their money. Yeah. And it's like, for me, I would do it with like, this is easy money. I'll do this for a few years, stack up money, fucking quit, and then invest in like legit businesses.
Yeah.
But
I've only ever known one kid to do it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that do it, but they're not the flashy ones. You only see the flashy ones.
Yeah. You always see those ones.
Yeah, but when we were kids, there was this lad that started pushing, and then he was just like, "Yeah, I'm trying to save up money to buy a car to then get an apprenticeship," and he did exactly that, and then he never did it again.
Yeah.
I was like, well, fucking all right, bro.
That's it, bro. I respect it, man. Like, I have friends who push like just weed and stuff for a little bit, and you know they did it just to make extra money on the side. And once they felt fulfilled, they were like out. You know, but I think that's cool. But yeah, some people, and that's how you get caught, bro. Is being too flashy, too caught up in the lifestyle. You know, like these people,
money come, money go. Bro.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly, bro.
So you started 2020. You decided you wanted to start making music.
Yep.
Then you started. And that relationship ended in September 2020. Not too long after that, you were praying. You had your prayers answered. Say, "Yep, come down to the studio." And then how long after that until you actually put out your first song?
Yeah. So that was early September. And then I put out my first song, like literally the next month, almost a month to the date. On the 14th of October. And then that was kind of the start of the journey. You know, I got very lucky with my first song. I think we did like 6 or 7K streams in the first week, which to me was like a lot because I had no following. I started a brand new Insta. I probably had like maybe 50 followers from people who followed from like my personal account over. And I always told myself that once my music account grows to more like I only had like 600 followers on my personal one. And I always said, once my music account grows to more than 600, that's going to be my main one. I'm not really going to use my personal one anymore. And that's pretty much what I did. But yeah, pretty much straight after I dropped that song, I got the ball rolling. I started dropping a song a month because I was just like, at the time as well, TikTok was just like a thing, but it wasn't what it is now. It was just starting to be a thing. And it was more for like memes and like skits and stuff. It wasn't really as many rappers like promoting on it. So yeah, I just started doing a song a month. So I dropped in October. That was my first. And I dropped November, I think December. And then I dropped a song called Blue Cheese in the January of 21. And Blue Cheese was kind of the start of my life changing in music. So very quickly, within like 3-4 months, pretty much what had happened was I made this song, thought it was really cool, ended up doing a music video for it, had really sick visuals, like to this day, probably one of my favorite music videos we've done.
And how did you source the music video? Like who did you get to do it?
So the guy who did it, his name is Last Edition. So at the time, he was shooting music videos for a lot of bigger artists like Cursor, Chillin' It, and especially during like that 2020, 21 era, Chillin' It was like killing it with like music, no pun intended. But like, he was like at the top of the Oz rap scene. So this dude, I was very lucky and fortunate that I just DM'd him and then he wanted to work and he had dropped his prices down because I assume he was probably charging those guys a lot, but he dropped his prices down for me and we did 2 videos together. One was Blue Cheese, and then a year later we did another one. But yeah, with Blue Cheese, reached out to him, shot the music video, dropped the song with the visuals. It went really well off the bat. And then that's kind of where my American manager kind of comes into the mix. So, long story short.
Nah, don't try long story short.
Yeah. Well, we got to go back in time for this one. So when I was 12, my mum and I moved to New York briefly. So we moved over there, and in our time there, she had joined like Facebook groups and stuff like that, met people online, but never met up with them kind of thing. Anyways, fast forward to Blue Cheese. So one of the people who she had met, his name was Gary, who is now my manager. So Gary, we didn't know this at the time, but he's actually in the music industry. He's been in the industry for like 30 years, worked with numerous like 90s artists, like big hip hop artists from New York in the 90s, early 2000s, and has strong connections to like 50 Cent's team and stuff like that, right? Wow. So Gary had saw the music video on my mum's Facebook page, And my mum was like, "Oh, my son just dropped this new song, like blah blah blah."
That's mad.
Yeah. Shout out, mum.
Yeah.
And then he DM'd her and was like, "Oh, who's this artist like that you're sharing his music a lot?" She was like, "Oh, it's my son, blah blah blah." And then he was like, "Oh, like I haven't told you this, but like I've been in the industry for like 30 years, blah blah blah. I'd love to have a chat with your son." And at the time, my mum told me that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like yeah, all right." This random dude on Facebook's claiming he's like worked with all these people, like sure.
Yeah.
And so
It's
I was
the
like,
old classic. Yeah, I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
Behind the KFC.
Yeah, right. I was like, whatever. It's probably a scam or something, right? And she was adamant. She was like, no, like I've known him and we've had each other on Facebook all this time and blah blah blah. And now it's starting to make sense because he's always posting about music stuff, but I didn't know what he did. And I was like, okay, well, I'll give him I'll suss him out. So we had a Zoom call in 2021, and yeah, we ended up talking for hours, and he was telling me about all the stuff he's done and people he's worked with, photos and all sorts of awards and stuff. So I was like, okay, he's the real deal. And so pretty quickly after that phone call, pretty much at the end of that phone call, he was like, man, like the way you talk, the passion you have, he was like, I see potential and I'd love to like take you on as like an artist. And I was like, hell yeah. So, within that next week or two, we kind of sorted out like what the deal would look like. And then pretty much right after I signed, it was go. Like, started doing magazine covers for like local New York magazines. I've been in a few different ones like IAS Music, which is like a big one for independent rappers in New York. The Source magazine, which is like a pretty credible one. Like Drake's been in Source, J. Cole's been in Source. Like a lot of the GOATs have been in Source mag. So I did that, and even an MTV article. So that was kind of spread throughout.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, man. It's a full spin out to me, man.
Do you have these magazines physically to yourself?
I have online copies. I don't have any physical ones. I like the problem was, man, to get them like posted over was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a $10 magazine, but to get them posted over is like $200. So I was like, I'm good. I'll just take the online copy. So my actually a girl that I dated for like almost 3 years, for one of like our anniversaries, she made a collage of like all the magazines and stuff I've been on. So I still have that collage.
Yeah,
that's
sick.
a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so throughout 2021, we kind of had all that going on, and I was still dropping music. I dropped my first EP through him and everything like that. And then we started planning for me to come over and do shows kind of mid 2021, July-ish. But then we went into a lockdown.
So before we continue on to this, all right?
Yeah,
before we continue on to this. So you've had this very quick blow up in a place that you're not in as well. You know what I mean? You're getting eyes on you, and there's no eyes on you. You know what I mean?
No.
You're still over here.
Yeah.
How are the people in your immediate life reacting to everything that's happening over there?
Yeah, like I think people, it was a weird one. Like, that's a good question. My mum and like my family were super supportive. Like, and my mum's always been supportive. Before music, like I ran my business, as I said. And I actually used to study law as well. So
okay, nice.
I studied law for a year at Western Sydney University. And my mum has always been super supportive of whatever decision I make, because she knows the type of person I am. And when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it to the best of my ability until I can't anymore.
That support is so important.
Oh, so important, man.
Important.
I think also back to what we were talking about before about some people not having that spark in them or never finding it. I think parents are a big part of that too, because man, like I'm very lucky, and it seems like you are too, to at least have some people in your life that like genuinely believe in what you're doing and support it. But man, like some people aren't that lucky, and some people want to be a creative, like be a photographer, for example, but their parents are like, no, you need to go to uni and do this. And then they get all this family pressure, and it just kills their dream, you know?
I wonder if it's to do with how we were talking before as well, how if you're ambitious, you're kind of sparking the next generation of ambitiousness to be raised in your children. Like maybe if you never develop that self-belief and you have self-doubt, then you'll instinctively just push that same pessimistic mindset of scarcity and well, let's not take the risk, let's play the safe card, you know, get a trade, you know what I mean? Like something like that.
Man, like risk is a big part of it too, man. Like everything that I've done in my life is a risk, you know, like And I'm sure same with you, you know, especially when it comes to being creative, you know, like my idea was I don't want to be 40 and then look back at my 20s and think, fuck, like I should have chased that music career.
What could have been?
Yeah, what could have been. Oh, I was just this close. Like if I had have put out a few more songs or gotten over, like put out content, bro. Because this is another thing, right? And I'm sure you feel it too. Everybody who starts doing content feels like this. It is embarrassing to make content. Yeah. It is so embarrassing to make content, man. Like standing outside with a camera, if it's for TikTok, if it's for a YouTube video, if it's for whatever, it is embarrassing because it feels like a humiliation ritual. Yeah. It feels like everyone's looking at you, everyone's judging. Most people aren't even judging though. That's like also what I've come to realize is like most people wish they could be you know, like, so it's kind of like a thing, but it's still, I get this all the time, bro. I'll stand outside at the front of our house and like make TikToks. Somebody will walk their dog and look at me and I'll be like, fuck. Like, I need to re-record that one. Like, you know, you feel awkward, you know?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, man, I think it is embarrassing and I forget where I was going with that. But
well, the embarrassment, I have seen this quote recently by this guy called Steve. He runs this podcast called Diary of a CEO.
Yes, yep.
Fucking phenomenal. I think his name's Steve Bartlett. I think
Steve Bartlett or something like that. Yeah.
He said, embarrassment is the price of entry if you want success.
That's the great quote.
It's perfect, bro. Because I still feel it. Like trust, bro. I pull my phone out. I'm like, fucking right.
Hey guys,
it gets easier over time, which is really cool. Like, so I've got my videographer now. So on the weekends we'll go out and I'll be like walking down the shopping center or in the street talking to a camera and like. I'm not really focused anymore on what everyone else is thinking because I've got my eyes on the prize. And that's what you have to learn how to ignore the noise, focus on the video, bro. Focus on the video.
And that's also like with a lot of things in life, you know, you need to focus on that point, that goal, and ignore everything else. Ignore negativity, ignore everything, because the reality is, and this is something that like I came to realize as well, is people aren't going to believe in you, and that's perfectly fine. There's like, you don't need everybody in the world to believe in you, because if that happens, you probably won't make it because you'll probably already think you've made it and you won't reach your potential. You need people to not believe in you, and that's what can strive. So I think people being negative, like, does it feel good? Like, I guess not really, but also at the same time, the type of person I am, I don't really give a fuck, man. Like, bro, I had a rage bait video that blew up on like TikTok and Instagram like 2-3 weeks ago now, bro. Like hundreds of hate comments, like 100,000 views. I think it was 160K on Instagram and like 150K on TikTok, and hundreds of hate comments in the thing. I don't give a fuck, bro. I sit there and laugh, and me and my friends are like, oh, what should I reply to this one? You know, like I get fucking happy when I see it, you know? So it's like, for me, I guess I'm not the best person to talk about negativity because it doesn't affect me at all.
No, then you're the perfect person to talk about negativity, bro. But on that saying, on that is like, you have to have light and darkness. You have to have hot to have cold. You have to have the negativity in order for the positivity to shine so heavily, you know. And the more negative you've got, maybe it is a good thing. Maybe it's one of those forces in the universe that we're not too familiar with, where the harder the negativity is, the higher you get lifted positive, bro. Like a magnet with a positive and a negative.
Well, one of my favorite artists is Drake, and you know, he's the GOAT, absolute GOAT, right? And one of his songs, he says, knew I needed the love, but think I valued the hate more. And I think that's always stuck with me, is like, it's cool to have people in your corner who support you and like give you that boost sometimes when you feel like it's not working, and somebody will be like, oh, but look at what you've done and blah, blah, blah. But also having that hate is like, it's like motivating, you know? And I'm also a firm believer of, bro, like, I don't personally go out of my way to like comment on TikToks if like I don't like the opinion. I just scroll. Like it's not that deep to me, right? So for me, I look at it and I'm like, man, like I don't hate on people, you know what I mean? And like the times where I've thought like something negative about someone, like I ask myself, am I doing it because they're where I want to be, or like what is the reason for this? You know what I mean? And I think more often than not, people hate, especially on creatives, because they want to be that and they can't be, you know? And it's funny because like, bro, even if you're a nobody, you know, even if you're somebody with like 50 followers or whatever, you can still get people hating on you. And it's like, they just hate their life, you know, like they want to do something more, but they can't, you know?
Yeah, I have people randomly commenting on my Instagram videos way earlier into having, I might have only had like 100 and something followers, and I'd come past people's things and they'd be coming, shut up.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
What the
like,
hell?
why have you gone out of your way to do this? Like,
Look at, bro, sometimes people would find things and pick on me for. I'm like, well, that's not cool, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like,
what the fuck?
oh, bro, some
fucking
people,
like
man.
hairline and beard, fucking this. I'm like,
It's like, what
fuck
the
off,
fuck?
dickhead.
Oh, bro.
But the enemy's part, like the saying how Drake valued the hate more. I can full feel that too, because I've been on a journey of sobriety for 3 years and
Congrats.
4 months, maybe almost 5.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
Thank you. And in the beginning, I just set myself the challenge to see if I could do it. You know, like to myself and everyone else at the time, people, I'm going to go 12 months. I'm going to prove it. And believe me, I lived a life before that, which was the polar opposite.
Yeah,
Like I reckon I had a sober waken month in a 5-year period. Like I was like, I was no good to myself or the people around me.
Yeah.
And the beginning made it made it easier for me because no one thought I could do it. You know, it gave me like a
Yeah, it's like, fuck
something
you.
to push against. It was like, I'll fucking show you,
Yeah,
motherfucker. You can't define me. Like,
yeah. Who do you think you are?
and
Like,
people making bets. All my mates, closest people were making bets. Like, oh, he's gonna last a week. I'll give 2. I'll give 4 days. I'll give 1 day. You know what I mean? It's like it was like fuel, bro. And I still love these people because I'm not mad. Like I didn't live a life that showed I'd be able to do it.
Yeah,
Like,
100%. Yeah,
of
so it's
course
like,
they're
what
gonna
else are
think
they
it.
going to believe? Yeah.
And I would just speak out of my ass all the time about false promises, false ambitions, all these things. And yeah, when everyone didn't believe in me, it was like, yes. When everyone started to believe in me because I'd done a year and a half, then I'm starting to think to myself like, fuck, where's the fire, bro? You know what I mean? Like now I'm like, why am I still doing this? I had to find new reasons to keep doing it. So
But and that's actually a really good point to touch on as well, is I think as people, we're always changing and evolving our views, political views, whatever views it is, like just even how we act and everything. We're always changing, and that's perfectly okay. And I think sometimes, and I think I've really started to think about this concept recently with J. Cole's new album, because his album kind of revolves around him retiring from music, but also coming to terms with the hip hop in its current place and where he kind of lines. And I think it's important to always chase new values and new goals of why you're doing things. You know, certain things, like you said in the beginning, it was because, you know, you wanted to do it, but also people doubted you and stuff like that. But eventually it comes a point where you make it to a point where nobody doubts you anymore. And then it's like, well, if that's the only thing you rely on, you just fall back into the same hole eventually. So it's always about, once you get to a certain point, it's like, okay, well, what's the new goal? What's my new reasoning for doing this or continuing this journey?
Yeah.
So,
and it's nice, it's nice because we're outgrowing ourselves, you know, we're reaching that level. Okay, now that I'm at this level, like, do I want to go backwards or do I want to find myself a new position? And yeah, I think everything's like that, but every relationship should be like that. You should reach a point in every relationship and where you're comfortable. Don't want to have those uncomfortable conversations, but you have them anyway in order to get to the next level.
You gotta get to that next stage.
And the same thing would work in your career, your passions, your ambitions, your relationships with faith. Like you're always going to get to a point until your brain has now mellowed out, and you're like, this is where we exist now. Oh, fuck, I know. Let's just keep going, Let's just keep going.
That's it, man. And also, like, people can hold you back, or certain things in your life can hold you back. So I think it's always important to evaluate, like, what you've got going on around you and if it fits into the next part of your journey, you know? Like, I was just on a cruise, like, 2 weeks ago now for Australia Day. And I was having this conversation with this guy in the spa. And this kid, he was like 18, bro. He was the most like intellectual 18-year-old I've ever spoke to in my life.
I love when that happens.
It was incredible, bro. Like, he was like, we were just having a really deep conversation about, like, I guess like beliefs or standpoints and not offending people, outgrowing people, like all sorts of topics, right? And one thing I kind of told him was like, he said that sometimes he feels that he's at a point where he's outgrowing certain people. And I said, like, that's perfectly fine. And I think he feels a bit guilty for that because, like, you know, some people are close to him and friends and whatnot, but then he feels like they're just doing completely opposite of what he wants to do and he wants to go down this way and they're not really going to be going down that way. And it's important to, like, evaluate that and, like, really figure out who's going to be with you for that next stage and what needs to happen for you to get to that next stage. Because, man, I never used to believe the whole, like, who you hang around is who you become, right? And as I get older, like, I do think there are exceptions to the rule, but I think for a majority that probably is the rule. Because when I was younger, I'll take it back to, like, when I was 15, 16, right? I don't do drugs and I don't drink, and I've never like done any of it. I drink sometime. When I say I don't drink, I mean I've never been drunk before in my life. I might have, like, a shot here and there, you know, but I've never really done too much past that.
And a shot must, like, feel crazy then.
Oh yeah, look, it doesn't. To be honest with you,
I
like,
think about that all the time. Not being sober for over 3 and a bit years, I think to myself, like, what would a shot?
Yeah, it'd probably, like, rock you. Like, yeah. Look, for me, it doesn't do much. Like, I don't even really feel anything. I think it's when I start to do, like, probably 2 to 3 shots. That's when I start to feel a bit like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's very rare to even get me to do more than 1, to be honest with you. But yeah, so for me, I never did drugs, never did any of that. I was at a point where when I was like 15, 16, my mates were smoking every day, fucking trying new drugs, trying this, trying that. And I never did any of it. And I always say to people, right, and I don't mean this in, like, a bad way, but, like, when I say this, I mean it in, like, my life, but peer pressure doesn't exist for me. I understand it does exist in, like, the world, but for me, in my life, it doesn't exist. If I don't want to do something, I'm just not doing it. And everybody who knows me knows that that's how I am, right? So I never did drugs. They would do it. They'd be like, oh, do you want to smoke? Blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, no, I'm good. And, like, we'd all be chilling, like, just watching a movie, playing games, whatever. Do you want it? Oh, no, I'm good. And they'd leave it there, right? And so for me, I never believed in that term because I was like, man, my mates do drugs. I don't do it. Like, I'm not like them. But then it got to a point where in success, I was like, maybe that is right. Because if you hang around people who aren't ambitious, aren't successful, you won't want to be like that. But I have a friend, his name's Kane. He lives on the Gold Coast, very successful guy. And when I hang around him and his friends, I feel a very different way compared to when I hang around other people, you know, and it motivates me to want to be like them. And then that's kind of when I started becoming really close with him is when I really realized the power of that saying, because when you're the brokest one in a circle, you want to be to that next level, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, on that 18-year-old lad's point, I definitely felt that at one stage in my life. I thought to myself, man, like, if I stop participating in the activity in which everyone else participates in, am I cutting all these people out of my life? And I built for a very long time my entire existence around the common goal of getting fucked up with people.
Yeah.
Like, that was the common goal. It didn't matter what.
Yeah.
Swallow it, snort it, smoke it, shove it up my ass, bro. I don't care what I do.
You'll
As long as it makes me feel less like me, how much can I get and how
can we do it?
And any questions I was asking.
Yeah.
But then once I decided to make these changes, I really started to think to myself, like, fuck, am I going to lose the genuine connections with people that I've found so close to through the last 10 years? And it was a hard decision and a hard choice, but then I realized, like, okay, well, maybe the common goal doesn't have to be drugs with these people. The common goal can be talking about this person's curious about faith. This person's curious about their career. This person's curious about whatever it is they're curious about. And we can still find relatability in one-on-one situations. So I did make cuts and changes and outgrew a scene, but I didn't outgrow the people because I actually made an intentional effort, which is, I think people should know that. You don't have to cut people out of your life. You cut situations out of your life, and if the people are meant to be there, if you put an effort, they'll still be there.
Exactly.
And I still have, look, for doing the podcast journey, I've been fortunate enough to sit down with lots of friends over the past 3.5 years, but I reckon I still talk to most of them. Pretty much most of them. It's not the same. Fuck, you're not going to be 27 like me and still be kicking back at someone's house.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
That shit doesn't go
you
down.
got things to do, people to see. Like,
But yeah, you don't have to cut people out of your life. There's this, you're pretty sure you would have heard it. Like, it's a very, very popular saying. people aren't designed to go the same place as you are. They're like boosters on a rocket ship. They get to a certain altitude with you, then they just stay there. They fall off, and you keep going. And they're not bad people. They're just not designed to go where you're meant to go.
Exactly.
And that might just mean not holistically. It might just mean in specific areas of life.
Yes.
When it comes to popularity or money or success or faith, or it could be anything that you're going to this direction at, people like boosters might fall off, but they might be going to a different destination, bro, you know?
No, that's it, man. And that's it. And then that's how I've kind of looked at relationships as well. Like anytime I've had like a failed relationship, especially the ones that like last a little while, I kind of look at it from that perspective. And then after time goes by, I'm a very sentimental person. Like the girls that I've had relationships with, like proper relationships, that they hold like a very special part to me, all of them. And like I always look at that, and then years later I'll be doing something and then think back to like a time when I was with someone and be like, man, I don't think that this person could have like handled like this part of my life, or like I don't know how they would have reacted. Like obviously they would have grown too, but like just in general with their mindset.
But you probably might not have even been able to get to that place
exactly
in your
with
life
them.
either.
Yeah, exactly, man. So I think everything happens for a reason. I'm a strong believer of that, and I think people are with you. There's a saying similar to what you just said. It's like people are in your life for a lesson, reason, or a season. And I think, that's the best way to look at it. And I also think, I used to also think that people who said, I can learn a lesson from this, I used to just think that they're coping. I'm like, that's just a way for you to cope with it. But like, I think it's just genuinely a mindset, because that's how I look at things now. When bad things happen, I don't tend to focus on the negative. I focus on what's next. How can I get through this? What's the solution, alternative? And what have I learned from doing this? And it does help me to be generally overall a more positive person, because I don't sit there and focus on the negatives. I don't dwell on things and be like, fuck, like this is a really shit situation, like for me, I'm just like, fuck it, like this happened. What do I do now? Like how do I get out of this? You know? So
well, that's faith, bro. That's everything happening to you, for you, not to you. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, exactly right, man.
Yeah.
And
all right, well, let's circle back, all right? Because the original question before this big side tangent we went on, which is okay, I'm glad we do it, was how did the people in your immediate circle start to react when you started to get the attention overseas in New York? How were the people in your life handling it?
Yeah, so as I said, family was super supportive. Friends were also supportive. I think it was just a matter of like, not even I understood it, you know what I mean? Because I was still small, and like even now I still am small, but I'm bigger than what I was back then. But like, it was really confusing for me because I was 21. We were in lockdowns like constantly over here. And I was like, man, all this stuff is happening. Like, am I about to be famous? So I was like, what's about to happen? Like I think everybody in my life was just really like curious of what was going to happen next. And so I think we were all like, more so just waiting until I got to America to see what would eventuate and what would become. There were definitely, parts of me where I was like, this is it. Like, I've made it, Yeah. Not the case, because we're still here like 3 years later, 4 years later. But like, I think, it was a very exciting time in my life. Yeah.
So then what? So then obviously through COVID, everything's locked down. You're not able to travel and do all that kind of stuff. Were you still making music through that period?
Yeah. I was making music and investing in crypto as well. So NFTs have like always been a big thing of mine. Or from like 2021, they were a big thing. I don't know if you know much about NFTs.
I know enough about crypto.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Perfect. So man, like I've been investing in crypto since like 2019 now. So 2021 during the July to October lockdown, insane time for NFTs, bro. Like that was peak. So me and my mates, it's pretty much what I was doing, bro, with my time, was making music and buying and trading NFTs, bro. Like just preparing, trying to stack up money to
using that $750 up the government.
Yeah, exactly. The COVID payments. Yeah, bro. That was pretty much it, bro. Like just having fun. I'm a gamer too, bro. So like I was just doing the typical shit, just playing games, like kicking back, making music, like just treating it like it was a holiday, really. Yeah.
What was your maybe it's a personal question to ask, but what's your favorite coin like to be investing in? What would you recommend?
XRP.
XRP. That's all I'm
XRP. Yeah, bro. XRP, man. Like me and my family, we got in XRP at like a very, very good price. And I've kind of just been buying and selling as we go up. But XRP, bro.
Yeah.
Goated.
I got in at 80 cents.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's insane. Like, incredible, bro. Like, man, I remember the first time I bought XRP would have been 2020, and it was like less than 10 cents.
Ooh.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Bro, that's like, and to be honest, it would have jumped very quickly from 10 cents to 80 cents.
Yeah,
that would have
yeah,
been
yeah.
in like a couple months.
Yeah, it was
I would have
so
just
quick,
missed
bro.
that.
It was so quick. And like, then it crashed again, and so I bought more. And then 2021 came where there was a little bit of a bull market. But I think the best time for XRP was like literally like last year, or like I think it was either 2024 or 2025.
Yeah, it was 25.
25.
You went from like $3 something to
$5.
$5.
Yeah. That was a good time.
Bro, I was telling people like, no one listens, bro.
But they don't, man. They don't.
One person reached out to me, this kid in 2025, and he's like, bro, like, have you seen what's happening in XRP? And I'm like, what are you messaging me about this for?
Yeah, like,
oh, you told me to get in it like in like 2020. I was like, mad cunt.
Yeah, he listened. He understood.
I was like,
it,
holy shit, bro.
Yeah, man.
You're the only one that listened, bro.
Bro, it's insane, bro.
I had a mate selling like probably like 2 weeks before that rise.
Oh, bro. For me, like, you know, I've just been so on it. Like, my mum's partner at the time, he was super like into crypto, and I was the last one in like, so my family pretty much just consists of me, my mum, and then my grandma. Like, that's my direct family. My dad left when I was younger. So like,
any contact at all?
No, none. Last time I spoke to him was when I was like 10.
Really?
I think. Yeah. There's been some interesting things happen recently, which we can touch on a little bit. But my mum's partner at the time, he was super into crypto. I think 2019, probably mid 2019, he was like, you should invest in it, blah, blah, blah. Like typical 19-year-old, I was like, oh yeah, like blah, blah. I was too caught up on my business and uni and stuff. And then when 2020 hit COVID, I was like, okay, I gotta tap in here. Like, there's something going on. So like Cardano was another one that I invested in early. Bro, I remember seeing ETH at like $650 or 658. And thinking, oh, like, I don't know.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. And then boom, like, it's fucking thousands of dollars now, bro. So, man, yeah, but crypto is crazy. So, yeah, during that 21 period, like in that mid to late 21, that was pretty much what I was doing. And then with my manager, we were just figuring out what 22 would look like, because we didn't know when Australia was going to open up the borders again. I could have left, but it wouldn't have been guaranteed I could come back. So I was like, I don't want to get stranded over there, so I'll just wait until our lockdown is done. We finished that lockdown in like October. And then in the music industry, especially in America, things tend to get a bit weird towards like November, December, because they have Thanksgiving and then it's obviously Christmas. It's like the industry kind of shuts down, so not a lot happens. So my manager was like, look, it's like at the end of October. There's no point of you coming over now because Thanksgiving, Christmas and stuff come right after the New Year. So it's exactly what I did. So I think like January 5, 2022, I went to America for 6 weeks. During that 6 weeks, bro, it was chaotic. It was like a taste. That was my real glimpse of what stardom could be without being like famous or even being like at that level. But I saw a glimpse of that and I was like, this is what I need my life to be. Like, it was just a whole lot of fun, man. Like going shopping and like running into people, getting introduced at dinners to like hip hop legends, performing at shows, doing radio interviews, podcasts. Like, it was like, holy shit, like it's happening, you know? Like, meanwhile, bro, I only had like maybe 600 or 700 followers on Instagram, but I was living this lifestyle that was like fucking beyond me. You know what I mean? Man. So it was like a really cool experience. And to this day, like that whole 2022/23 just kind of spins me out. Like, it's like how, and even now, man, the opportunities that I get spin me out. But to circle back to kind of that time period. So during those 6 weeks, I was doing shows for like, I did a show for this lady called Maria Davis. Now, Maria Davis was a very influential hip hop, I guess, curator in like the 90s and 2000s. She didn't discover Tupac, but she hosted a lot of his early shows. Like some of his first ever live shows were with this lady. She has a little intro on one of Jay-Z's albums where she's talking about Jay because she also hosted some of his shows back in like the early 2000s. So this lady's super influential. My manager is really good friends with her. She put me onto a few of her events. So I got to perform the same stage that some of these hip hop legends got to perform. Sick. And that was a spin out to meet people in the crowd that, you know, knew them, grew up with like Jay-Z and stuff. And like, bro, it's just a spin out to just hear stories and be so close, but yet so far away. And I think that's the feeling I've had throughout like my whole career, is like this feeling of being close enough to the action, but still not quite there.
It's a great way to describe it. I like that.
Yeah. And it's weird, bro. Like I constantly think about it. But yeah, during that period was a spin out, bro. Full spin out, man. And then I did a show for Maria Davis. In the crowd, this guy comes up to me, right? This is like one of the funniest stories of my career. So he comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, like, you trying to make it to the big leagues?" He's like this big fucking black American guy, right? So I'm like, well, fuck, what's this about? He's like, "You trying to make it to the big leagues, man?" And I was like, yeah, like, what do you mean? And he goes, "Man, like, I like what I saw up there, like, blah, blah, blah." We're talking. My manager was like off in the corner. And then he goes to me, he goes, "Oh, like, do you know who I am?" And I was like, "Nah, bro, no clue, man." And then he was like, "Oh, like, I work for Rock Nation." So Rock Nation is a record label that's owned by like Jay-Z and founded by Jay-Z. So he was like, "Man, I work for Rock Nation and I do like a lot of talent scouting and stuff. Would you like to be a part of one of our artist showcases?" And I was like, "Sick, yeah, like how?" Yeah. And then so he got my number, and then me and my manager ended up meeting up with him. At the time as well, I thought, this is fucking cap, because I struggle to believe, like, I guess that there's a bit of me that doubts when people tell me something like, I'm this person. I'm like, are you really? Like, are you actually? Yeah, so I didn't really believe it, but I got his number. And then he texted me the day after and was like, "Hey man, like, I'd love to have a chat with you in person, blah, blah, blah." So we set up a day. A few days later, me and my manager go to this restaurant. We pretty much talk with him, sign the contract, and boom, I was going back to America in April to perform for Rock Nation's like artist showcase. A few days after that, me and my manager were walking through Times Square. And it was a really surreal moment because I was seeing these billboards of all of these like artists that were dropping. At the time, Gunna had just dropped his album. Fuck, I forget what it's called. It's the one that's got like Pushing P on it and stuff like that. And he had just dropped that album, so there were like billboards of his face everywhere. And I remember walking through Times Square. It was snowing, like the typical kind of scene. So and I said to my manager, I was like, "Man, I'd love to have my own billboard in Times Square one day." Literally 2 days later, we get a phone call from a billboard company. They want to have me have a billboard in Times Square.
What?
So yeah, so so I flew back to Sydney late Feb, and then I flew back there at the end of March for 2 weeks. I did the Rock Nation show. I did a couple other small shows in New York, did some more podcasts. I did like a TV interview as well. And then, yeah, flew back to Sydney. And then I dropped a project in June 2022, and that's when I had my billboard in Times Square. So I had that for
that's so crazy.
Full spin out, bro. So yeah, I had that for a whole month in Times Square, my face right there, to promote that project. And that project was actually Australia's first music NFT project.
Oh,
so
wow.
At the time, obviously, I was really big into NFTs. NFTs were starting to die, but I fully believed in like the technology, and I still do. And there's actually a few companies that are doing like blockchain technology where you can purchase an artist's music on their platform. But besides the point, I thought I want to be early on this. Like, I want to make an NFT project. So that project is available on like Spotify, Apple Music, all that, blah, blah, blah. But it was also available as an NFT.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And then does being available as an NFT, does that mean that people who buy it also own a percentage of the NFT itself?
Correct.
And then as everyone else starts to buy into it, then their portion of it goes up?
Correct. Yeah. So I only released 100.
Interesting way to fucking
Oh yeah, bro.
invest, bro.
It didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. You know, only a handful of people bought it. But it was still a cool concept. And I guess like I was the first to do it, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, at least I can coin that term, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like it was a super cool way to do it and promote the project. The project's actually called Blockchain. So I kind of centered it around the whole idea of the blockchain and then like, yeah, doing this NFT to promote it too. So yeah, man.
That's sick how you were in Times Square as well and you envisioned the thing, bro. You had that moment of the glimpse into the future, like you've said before, you know, like you referenced in the start of the episode. Maybe we're on camera, maybe we're off, but we were definitely talking about the fact that you said there's been a few moments where I've been able to just have a moment you know, where you can just envision something for the future, bro. And it sounds like that was one of them, bro.
Yeah. And it really was like that. And so, yeah, man, it was a full spin out to kind of be from Penrith and be able to say that I had a billboard in Times Square. And it's full. I don't, like, to be honest with you, I don't think anybody from Penrith has ever done that. Like, I'm probably the first. Like, I don't think that anybody's ever done that. So
in the music scene,
at least,
because you might be in competition with Ty, Bam Bam.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah, true. I didn't think of that. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, in the music scene, definitely.
Yeah. So then what did that look? So then you did that 2 weeks. You went back for 2 weeks. For that?
Yeah. So I started doing just 2 week intervals because it was starting to get like pricey, and I wasn't making as much as I was. Like, it was pretty much like a breaking even kind of situation. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go for 2 weeks. So I did that.
What's it like flying all the way to New York consistently, bro? That seems like a long flight.
Yeah, look, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like, I've kind of developed a strategy. For me, I'm a night owl anyway. Like, I stay up late all the time. So for me, I stay up the whole morning. I get an early morning flight that normally leaves Sydney at like 9, but you have to be at the airport 3 hours before for an international. So get there at 6. I've stayed up. I leave Penrith at like 5, maybe 4:30. Boom. On the flight, I just sleep the entire time. Well, not the entire time, but probably for a good like 8 hours. And the flight to get to New York is like a long one because you got to go Sydney, LA, then a layover, and then LA to New York. So I would sleep for like probably maybe just over half of the flight, and the other half I'd just like bang out shows. You know, at the time I was watching Suits.
Yeah,
Suits has like an hour-long episode, so it was pretty much just like a few episodes, and then like I'm there, you know?
Yeah, nice.
So it was like, yeah, it's a really cool way to kind of do it, but it does get tiring. Bro.
Yeah,
it does get tiring.
I struggle with flights to freaking Queensland.
Yeah,
bro.
Really, bro.
Like,
you're up in the air for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Every time I go overseas, I'm like dread.
Yeah,
bro. Like,
yeah.
I take my vape on the plane. I can't help it. I just vape on my seat. Otherwise, I'm not getting through that plane. I'm not getting through it. No one's landing. Bro.
Yeah, everyone's getting on smoke. Like, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
funny.
So then this is still 2022.
Yeah.
All this is going on.
Yeah.
You're coming back. What are you doing in your time when you are in Sydney? Like, obviously you got to make money somehow. You are you working? You have anything like that?
Yeah. So at the time, it's actually funny. So I had a job at Sydney Zoo, which was the zoo that opened in Blacktown.
Yeah, it's a mad job, bro.
Yeah, it was a hectic job, bro. So I worked there from 2019. I was one of the first ever, like, so where you sell the tickets and stuff. I was like one of the OG ones. So I started there in October 2019. Then the zoo opened in December, and then it obviously closed for COVID. After COVID, kind of went back to working at the zoo, doing ticketing and stuff. And I by then I had started making music. So when I got the job, I wasn't doing music. By the time we went back, I was. So I did that job right up until I had the billboard. And then they started to get a bit iffy because I was traveling so much. They were like, oh, we need more availability, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'll just quit. So I quit.
Make it easy.
Yeah, make it easy. So I quit. It didn't work for a while. I was just very in a fortunate financial situation to be able to not do that. And it was at the end of 2022. I was in a relationship for pretty much the whole of 22. We ended up breaking up at the end of 24. And yeah, like it was hard. It was getting harder to like maintain that relationship. And I was like, the America trips were cool and all, but it was starting to get to a point where like I was going over there more for like the optics rather than like accomplishing anything. And I felt like I had done a lot, and then the opportunities started to slow down. So I was just like, I don't need to go over right now. I'm just going to stay in Australia. I know I want to live in Australia and like build a career here. So how can I build my name in this industry? And then that kind of gets us to the journey I've been on since then. So 23, 24, 25, I didn't go to America. I was going to go in 24, but then had some family issues happen. So I ended up staying here. But yeah, pretty much I have just since then just been building. I mean, I've still got the same manager and I've still got opportunities over there. So later this year, actually, I'm going back over to America. But yeah, like I've just been trying to really build my name in Australia because I think ultimately, kind of like what we were talking about before, actually, about your goal is always changing and what you want to accomplish and reasons for doing things. At the start, when I was making music, I don't know if I really had a reason to do it. I was doing it because I thought it was fun and cool. And then fucking things just started happening, right? So I was like, I'm a roll with it. But I don't know if I necessarily had like a purpose other than me feeling like I was being called into it. I just didn't understand what the purpose was. Now I am a little bit older. I genuinely feel like my purpose is to bring up the Australian music scene, and also like create a career for myself. Like I've seen other artists like Kid Leroy and a few other people who, you know, blow up and they do their thing. But then, you know, they kind of move to America and they turn Hollywood, you know what I mean? Yeah. And for me, I want to make that not my mission. You know, I've got no problem with people doing that. Like I think at the end of the day, you got to look after yourself first. But I also believe that there's a way to build the Australian music scene, and also kind of make a career out of it too. So that's been my mission ever since like 23. And then, yeah, I think as I get older and get more experience and drop more songs and get bigger opportunities, the mission kind of becomes a bit more clearer of where I'm meant to be.
Yeah, so, that's mad.
Yeah.
So then you're doing most of your shows over in New York. When it comes to doing shows here in Sydney or even Canberra or wherever it is, has there been many opportunities for that as well?
Yeah, man, like a lot. So once again, like I say it's luck. I don't feel it's luck. I truly just feel like it's what I'm being called to do. But
well, luck is when time meets preparation.
Exactly right. I always say I don't believe in luck in the sense of like, oh, I got lucky, you know, and it just happened. I believe that, you know, you might get into a room with someone, right, who might be fucking, I don't know, a record label exec, or for you might be a podcast manager, I don't know, right? And they see what you've done, they talk to you, and they think, I believe in this person, I'm gonna sign them on or whatever. That's not luck. Like you could argue like, oh, but if I wasn't there and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, if you didn't have the work, they're not just going to find somebody who's shit and be like, oh, I'm going to sign you because we had a really good conversation. It's like, no, it's not how it works. So I think, you know, you do build a bit of your own luck. But yeah, the opportunities here have been really, really good. I'm very fortunate that, I get to have those opportunities. And even just recently, I was on the Fridays Live tour. So that had like Mariah Carey, Pitbull, Wiz Khalifa, Lil Jon. I got to go on that tour with my publicist because she was one of the people kind of working on that tour, because that's kind of what she does, marketing and events. And she also does my publicity. So she just asked me, do you want to come? And I said, yeah. So I did.
That's such a dope.
Oh, it was hectic, bro. Like it was a hectic experience, bro. And once again, it was that feeling of being so close to the action, but not being that yet. Yeah. So it was another real spin out. But yeah, like I did Brisbane, Sydney, and then Melbourne. So 3 shows out of the 4. Incredible.
That's so sick, bro. It was only very recently too.
Yeah, it was like October, so it was like 3 months ago.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Man. That's mad.
Yeah.
So when you have a show like that, because I didn't go, there was the one here.
I didn't perform, by the way. I just want to make that clear. Yeah, I didn't perform. I was just there, being a part of it, witnessing how it worked, and got to meet a few of the artists and stuff. So
and you had to like kick it and see the
just kick back and
exactly,
things like
that. Yeah, that's mad. Yeah. But again, bro, as you said, like you're so close to the action, like it won't take a little bit more just to push you onto that stage, bro. You know what I mean?
Exactly, bro. And that was like the common thing, like everyone, all the like people, because a group called Mushroom run that festival, And like all the people I met from Mushroom were like, oh, you know, like one day, like you'll get to that, or like, you know, can't wait till you're on that stage and stuff like that. So it was like hearing those comments were cool, but it also like pissed me off in a sense because I'm like, bro, I want it now. Like I want to jump out there. Like give me the opportunity. But like obviously I understand everything comes when it comes. But yeah, man, it was insane, bro. It was a spin out. Yeah,
that's so mad, bro. You know, through this conversation, you've been really reminding me of this other lad that I sat down with, and I'm gonna try and put you in contact with each other. He's been making music for I can't remember how long he said, maybe around a similar time frame as you, maybe like he started a little bit later.
Yep.
But he's heavy Christian as well. Comes through, his dad's a pastor, and he's actually lived in New York. Done a bunch of stuff like that as well. His name's Thursday. Okay, that's his artist name. Yep. I don't even know his name. He's really He's Thursday to me. Yeah, and yeah, bro, it's really awesome to hear the faith working alongside the artistry at the same time, because it's something that I don't hear about. You hear when, as you said, artistry is the faith. Yeah. Like George Janko. Yes. When he made his rap song, you know what I mean? Like you only know of his music because he's the Christian, you know? Correct. And you only know. Yeah. But then it's awesome to hear the beat and the lyrics go hand in hand as they start to climb together at the same time, you know? And I think that it is such a superpower, and it's such a cheat code to have them alongside each other.
It is, man. It is. And like, I've been questioned in the past. Like I remember literally a few months ago, I was in an Uber, and the Uber driver, I was actually going to a show, and the Uber driver was like, oh, you know, you look like an artist. And I was like, oh, I am. And then like we started talking and stuff, and he was a Christian youth leader, right? He owns some company, I forget what they do, but some sort of like Christian youth ministry. Anyways, we started talking, and then he asked me what type of topics I talk about. And he goes, well, if you're a Christian, like, do you talk about God in your music? And I was like, no. like to be honest, like, I don't know if you've listened to my music, but I talk a lot about like just partying, girls, like typical rapper shit, you know, like not really violence, because that's not what I live, not really drugs or anything too. If I refer to drugs and stuff, I'm like always like she's doing this, or like they're doing this, you know. It's never like I'm doing this, you know what I mean? And so like like he was like, oh, you know, well, how can you call yourself a Christian if you are like rapping about all this stuff? And for me it was like an interesting conversation, because like I don't see it the same way as him at all. Like I don't think God like cares necessarily what you talk about and stuff like that. Like, you know, they always refer to God as like a father, right? And I think when your parents love you regardless of what you do, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of how I see it, is like at the end of the day, I know that I have a strong connection with what I believe to be God, and you know, I don't think I get judged because I made a song saying I fucked a girl, you know. It's like all good, you know, like
he knows anyway.
Exactly, bro, exactly. So I'm like, bro, like
God's like put his AirPods in, bro, and he's like,
it's like
what?
Yeah. Just like quick note, bro. I used to know this girl, and she used to think that if you like hid under the covers, God couldn't see you. Bro, it's fucking crazy. Such a dumb thing. But
even that Uber driver, bro, even that comment, like to be fully practicing and participating, like that's not a Christian value to throw judgment onto others.
Exactly.
For the actions they make, bro. You know?
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
So there is no such thing as a perfect Christian, bro. No, people can judge all they want, bro.
The same people that judge probably cheat on their wives, bro. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing here, you know? So, bro, it's like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. Like,
It's cool that you were also saying too, you were saying earlier, you listen to Hillsong worship, and like that's the church I go to.
Oh yeah, same.
Oh, you've been going to Hillsong? Yeah, mad. I haven't been going since I did nights, even since I moved to Wentworth Point. I've only ever been a few times. But I'm kind of feeling the same thing you're feeling, bro, where it's like I enjoy it, and I value the room and the building for what it is. It's a center where people with like-minded values can come together and share a communal feeling, and that's one of my biggest drawings in life, is finding a room where everyone has a common goal. If I can find a gym, a church, an NA meeting, a sports club, bro, whatever it is, where everyone's got one common goal, I'm like, put me in that room, bro,
100%.
Let's feel this together. But bro, relationships and faith ain't built on buildings, bro. Is it? Like, it's got nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and this is a point I wanted to make it before, when you said you think that a lot of people go there, they act how they got to act, and then Monday night they might be doing coke, or they might be doing something else. It's not about the relationship between them and God.
No.
I think that a lot of people get confused and they build the relationship between them and what they think others should see them as.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
the thing that they're praying towards. They're worshipping their view from other people, you know, and they're trying to paint this facade of nice shirt, nice shoes, nice shirt, pull up in a nice car.
Yep.
Even the kids are dressed up, ready to go. Everyone's well spoken.
Perfect family.
Get back in the car and everyone's screaming at each other again, bro.
100%. 100%.
You're worshipping a false god.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And I think that those people are the ones that are doing themselves a disservice, you know, because I feel like, like the people kind of like us that understand the connection a bit better probably have it a bit easier because I don't feel the need to perform. You know what I mean? Like, man, I went to this like a Bible study group, I guess, right? In 2024. It was just after I broke up with my ex, and I was, you know how you get, bro. Like you're like down, you're like, oh, like what, like leaning more on like religion and everything. And I had met these people. They had been asking me to come to their church for a while, but I've gone to Hillsong since like 2016. Similar
That's crazy
to you.
that we must have seen each other bare time.
Yeah, man, probably I would say. Like I don't go to the main campus as much. I go to like the Penrith campus, but I've been to the main one a lot. Every time they do the Christmas spectacular, I always go to that. So yeah, but I had met these people and they went to a church that was similar to Hillsong in like Concord. They were like, oh, come. So I went to their church a few times. It was cool. Then they asked me to go to their like Bible study. And I wasn't too convinced on it. I was like, oh, I don't know. It's not really my thing. But my mum was like, oh, you know, just give it a try. Like, they're nice people, like, blah, blah, blah. I go there, bro. And like, man, I'm from Western Sydney, man. Like, I go there, everyone's like, golly gosh, how was your day? I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? Like, golly gosh. I'm like, bro, this
Creepers.
Yeah, bro, Jeepers Creepers. It's like, oh, bro, like, even just saying like, oh my God, they say, oh my gosh, or oh my goodness. And it's like, man, like, bro, you know, God's not going to fucking cast you out of heaven because you said, oh my God, bro. Like, come on, man. So for me, it just felt like super performative. And I didn't feel like I fit into that crowd, whatsoever. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, okay, I don't need to like search for this. Like, I know that I have a connection. I don't need to go to a Bible study group to like feel like, because I might be connecting. I might think I'm connecting with God, but like, I'm not really connecting with these people at all. I can't talk to them about what I did. You know, that day, pretty sure I was with a girl earlier that day. I can't be like, oh yeah, I was at this girl's house. You know what I mean? It's like,
this gal,
exactly, bro. I'm like, oh damn. So I'm like, fuck, man. Like, yeah, legit, bro. I'm like, fuck, man. So yeah, for me, I don't like the performative aspect of it.
You know what it reminds me of? I went to a networking event, as they call them. To me, I call them seminars, like because I've been to them in the past because there's been cool opportunities. Like David Goggins was coming to Sydney, so I went down to there. My brother bought me a ticket. That's mad. Just last week, might have been last week, my mum got tickets to this guy, Aaron Sansoni. He's like this big coach, teaches people about businesses and things like this. My mum's, I told you off camera, building the app, so she bought tickets to that. I went with her, and they paint this picture in this room, bro, that like, I like it for what it is. It's a place where you can network. You know what I mean? You meet like-minded individuals. You're hearing motivation, inspiration. You might hear gems of people's seminar points. At the end of the day, everyone that gets on stage, they're trying to sell you a course. Oh, yeah. 100%. They're all like, yo, sign up to my shit.
Yeah,
bro.
Bro.
You know?
That's how they make money.
That is how they make money.
They might have built a business, but if they're selling you a course, that's their main money maker.
Their new way of making money.
100%.
And like, the interesting thing about the coaching world is that it actually works. Like I know many people, especially if you're doing the podcast journey, that are coaches. And then I know people who are coaches that have signed up to other people I know who are coaches. And then I know people who have signed up to them as coaches. Like I know the full train now. I've watched it go down for years. And I've watched the marketing techniques that these people have used get trickled down all the way down to the people I know at the end. And then I know they're hiring clients. So I know that it works.
100%.
And then the things that they're teaching also works. Like, say you're going to be a personal trainer as a coach. You are creating the physiques of the people who are clients. So I know that the business coaches, they are helping create the businesses, but they are also making so much, 90% of their money from the fact they're teaching you how to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the interesting part about it.
No, it is. Yeah.
But the networking side of thing is what is I was so fixated on, because I don't like it when people define the word like that. They go, and this is literally what happened when you walk in, right? We were front stage, bro, like up the front. I've done night shift now. I've been awake for fucking 26 hours or something by this stage. I'm barely holding my eyes open. I reckon I fell asleep in this event 50 times. Like, to the point where I'm hallucinating. I'm
just nodding off.
Dreaming, awake, and had to convince myself that no, it didn't happen. You did not just get on stage. And he did not just give you an ice cream. Like, I'm full tripping out, right? You know? And then, anyway, we're sitting up front row, and this guy comes out. He's like the MC for the night, G'ing everyone up, saying, "Who's ready?" Then you literally got this. Who's ready to network? Oh, fuck. As soon as he said that, I wanted to smash the chair over his head, bro. Like, you're ruining the word. Like, don't do that. Like, who's ready to network, bro? Then, like, twice throughout the day, sometimes it's even 3 times, like, they go, right, now's your time to network. Get up, introduce yourself to 3 people. And everyone has to get up and shake hands and shit and fucking talk.
Oh, God.
Oh, bro, biggest drag. And my point is, it's like, going to a Bible studies group is like that.
Oh, it is, bro.
Because like they're 100%. Ruining the actual thing. It's meant to be a personalized message where, yes, you can be inspired by other people's interpretations, and God works through each other. So obviously I'm going to hear what I need to hear through you, and same vice versa. Yeah. But you can't cultivate it. You can't like, I'm going to this place to network, and then like, then, now's my chance. Hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Forced networking. Look, I've been to a few networking events, but not seminars. I've been to actual just networking events where it might just be like a dinner, or even just like for example, they did one in Penrith. I just missed it, but I wish I had gone to it because it's for local businesses. For me, I think it's a good avenue to do as an artist, because if there's local businesses, there's probably local bars or clubs that are looking for entertainment. So for me, I look at it from that aspect. But yeah, like I've been to a few, and look, the ones that I've been to, I haven't been to any seminar ones. I've been to a few cringy ones, but for the most part, it's all right. It's just like not, like they're not for artists, you know what I mean? But no, that's why.
Yeah, they are cool. Like I know a lot of lads that are involved in like even hosting network events. Like I know people that are in like BNI Global. One lad came on recently and told me about that. And that's like globally they have like, I think some crazy amount of 1,000 different chapters, and then they did a giant conference one in Sydney, and he's a member of this, and he's a mentalist, and he like finds gigs and shows and rooms, and he ended up, he told me like a few weeks ago he performed on ICC Sydney because he was just involved in these rooms, bro, you know? And it's like, the opportunities do come. They are a good idea. Let me tell you, this one I went to recently, the way they fucking painted this picture, bro, like I had to, I'm talking to these people as well. Like they made me talk to these people. I'm thinking like, if this is a networking event, I'm talking to the wrong people.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know what's funny, bro? So I've been watching a lot about this CIA spy named John Kikaraku, I think his name is. He was actually on Stephen Bartlett's podcast recently, but he had a interesting thing, which I've been doing subconsciously for years now, about networking and how he would recruit like spies or like assets in other countries. And his way to go about it was, say if he was at a networking event, his exact words for like, if I talk to you, go up and introduce myself, you say you work at a shoe store, I'm not interested. I'll cut the convo very quickly. Oh, it's nice meeting you, whatever. And he goes, I'll look for people who I can recruit as assets who would be valuable to me. And then he would talk about like finding somebody who works in government or an embassy. And I've been doing that for ages now with music, bro. Like I talk to everybody and anybody, like anybody who knows me personally. And this is like a little tidbit into my life, bro. Go on a lot of cruises because my mum has her own travel agency. On the cruises, I sit in the spa all day long, bro. Like the one that I was just on 2 weeks ago, I did 7 hours in the spa, bro. I'm not even kidding. I hopped out once for half an hour to have lunch, straight back in that bitch, bro. Like I just sit in there.
That's mad.
And so, bro, in the spa, that's what like really, I mean, music built my confidence, but like having those conversations with random ass people from random walks of journey, like life, was incredible. But I do that subconsciously too. Even on that cruise, bro, I'll talk to someone, and if they tell me they do something that's like not really like that fascinating to me, like not that I cut the convo short, but I probably won't be as like into it. And then when somebody else hops in, I'll be like, oh, hey guys, how are we? You know, and see what they do. But man, you meet a lot of interesting people who own businesses, and it doesn't necessarily have to relate to me. Like they don't have to be music related, but even if they've built a business or building something, I'm curious because like knowledge is power, you know? So for me, I'm like, okay, cool. What does that do? And just like the amount of opportunities I've got from cruises, even last year I went on a cruise, met this girl on there, just like would see her from time to time. It was a 10-day cruise. You know, you see the person quite a lot, see each other at the clubs and shit. She just hit me up like 2 days ago because now she's a host of a radio show and she wants to have me on the radio. Wow. So it's like, you just never know, bro. And that was like a year ago. It was last February. Yeah. So yeah, it's like insane.
Well, one thing that I've really found to be evidently true, and I did touch on it just before by accident, was that God speaks to us all through each other. And it's one thing that I didn't really... When the CIA guy was explaining the fact that, you know, he has a conversation with someone, he thinks, oh, I'm not going to get any value out of this. I think to myself, like, that's a shame because maybe it won't be the value in which you think it's going to be, but you will, I believe personally, you will get value from everything.
For sure.
And I've learned that through the podcasting journey. Obviously when you start a podcast, you think, oh, I'm going to sit down with prime ministers and chill on it and Kursar and fucking
everybody,
Volkanovski, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, those things will come. You know what I mean? Like, just give it time and that will come.
For sure.
However, like, but I was obviously trying to sit down with people like you, people who I've seen on Instagram and TikTok who are doing interesting things as well. But for a long time, I just had to like rely on my friends and family. So I did 60 episodes in a row where it was just like mate after mate going, come on, bro, you're up next. You know what I mean? You're up next. Don't be a fucking pussy, bro. They do it, you do it. You know what I mean? And I realized through doing this, like, I'm harnessing so much value out of all my friends because they have interesting shit to talk about, bro. I could be mates with people for 15 years and then they can come over and tell me something. I'm like, what? My mate Cooper, shout out to Cooper, like, you flew a plane?
Like what? Like, when did this happen? You know, like,
like, it's just like, and I realized, like, everyone that I encounter has an interesting story, and I've got lessons to learn from every single person, bro. Like, I'm never gonna stop learning. Like, in fact, I find that the higher I achieve to sit down with certain people, I have less to learn from them because, like, the saying goes, if you climb up too far and too high, you can't reach the people and help them come up to you. You can only be a few steps above someone to help them on their journey. You know?
Exactly.
And, bro, like, I think that CIA guy, in his career, if he was looking to recruit,
then that makes sense.
But holistically, if he's thinking I can't get value out of these people, he's in the wrong game, bro. You know, because life isn't about CIA operatives. Life is about self-development and personal growth, and just because he's focusing on his career, his emotional intelligence might not be as high.
Not be there.
His fun levels might not be as high. His fulfillment might not be as high, bro. You know. But I think that the person that's serving him coffee at the cafe, they might have told him that one little thing he needed to help his happiness level go up.
100%. 100%. And I think for me, bro, like, I used people as a long time as like a way to build confidence. And it was like, I'd have a conversation with anybody about any topic, and I still do. But like, I think, bro, if you look at, so something that we spoke about earlier was like believing that you're going to be like, I think it was what J. Cole said about like believing what you're going to be, like the highest version of yourself, envisioning it. For me, what that looked like when I was 16, bro, like, I knew I wanted to make music, but I was way too scared to try. Bro, I was a shy kid, man. Like, I wouldn't talk to people. Like, at school, I was very lucky to kind of be in the friend group I was in, so I didn't need to like carry the conversations. My mates were like the outgoing ones, and I was just there for the ride kind of thing. But I think, like, I was the shy one. Sorry. I was the shy one. Like, it took me ages to break out of my shell. And then I only broke out of my shell when I started talking to people. And my first job ever was at Wet n Wild. I was
that's a mad job too.
I know, right? Yeah, crazy. So I worked in ticketing for a year, and then I was a lifeguard for a year. And both of those jobs kind of took me out of my comfort zone. The zoo was what really got me out of my comfort zone, because that I was forced to talk to people all the time about their day and like quickly just chat to somebody about something. And then going into music, that helped me because I was like, if I had started doing music back then, I wouldn't have been able to network. I wouldn't be able to do anything. But doing those jobs made me break out of that shell, learn that conversating isn't that hard and it's not that scary either. And then, I was able to use that in music to like get opportunities, bro. Half the opportunities I get, probably not even half, more than half, just by being a good person, just having a good conversation with someone. And then they're like, oh, I own this event, or like I do this, or I know this person who runs this event. Like when I worked at the zoo, I had this spin out right before I quit there actually. So the owner of the zoo, his name was Jake. He owned it with his dad. And I had never spoke to Jake. I'd seen him a few times come in, but never really spoke to him. He'd say hi and then walk off, right? Anyways, during one of the events called Glow that Sydney Zoo runs, it's like a vivid kind of thing that they do every year. During their first one in 2022, I was standing there doing my job just outside. It was a bit quiet. And Jake had come up to me and he goes, oh, like, you're the rapper, right? And I was like, how the fuck do you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, yeah, that's me. Like, I make music and I've been doing shows in America and stuff. And he's like, oh, that's amazing. Like, one of my friends is running this this event. It was called Sound West. So it was called Sound West and it was at Combank Stadium in Parramatta. And it was a big music event with, like, pretty much every big Australian music artist. And then I think they even flew over some American people. They got just people in the music industry and it was like a music conference. And I was trying to go, couldn't find tickets. I think the tickets were like super expensive. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to buy a ticket. And then he goes, oh, like my friend is the one who like runs it. Have you heard of this? And I was like, I have heard of it actually. Yeah. And he called up his friend, gave me his email, and then I emailed the guy, and then he gave me 2 free tickets to come like with the VIP package. Wow. All because the owner of the zoo knew me. Wow. And so it was like a really cool experience where like you just never know who's watching. No. You never know what opportunities can come, and you don't get that without conversating to different people.
And it's like, bro, how could you ever paint in a different picture that like working at Wet n Wild and then working in the Western Sydney Zoo helped you in your career?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bro.
Like,
I know,
like,
right?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. The two worlds don't go together. But you have found, and it's not like you've created this. You know how you look for things. Say you start to think to yourself like, oh, there's no yellow cards, so you start seeing all yellow cards. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like you see more of it. Like we do look and find proof in the things that we already believe.
For sure.
So it's like, a little bit of a way you've kind of looked for how that has helped you in your career, but it's more like you've noticed how that's helped you in your career.
100%.
Bro. Yeah. And I think about that lately, like especially even doing vlogs on the weekend lately. I've been, I'm only a couple episodes in. I've been doing it like 2-3 weeks now.
Yep.
But my confidence level on camera is high. Like I'm fucking like, what's up, people? Like, let's go. But it doesn't matter if I'm in the stall, in the shops, and wherever I'm doing it. And it's because like I wasn't aware of this, but because I was sitting down by myself recording an Instagram story once a week, going back, editing the fuck out of it, doing 100 takes, 1,000 takes, 10,000 takes, bro. Eventually I get the 60 seconds I'm happy with.
Yeah.
These little things have like helped me over time to become confident on camera. And then as soon as first vlog happened, it's like I've been doing it for fucking 10 years. Bro,
that's it, bro. Yeah, you switch on and you lock in, bro. And I think it's important. And you really, like, I think to myself very often, like all the time, about like the person I am today is like the person that I wish I could have been like 5 years ago. Like how I am now is exactly how I envisioned myself to be. Just I thought I'd be more successful. But other than that, like, the way that I act, the way that I talk, the way that I dress, like, bro, when I first started making music, I had good fashion sense, but it wasn't like anything crazy. It was just like above average. And I always like would look at artists and be like, man, I wish I knew how to dress better. And then I just started learning and figuring things out, especially when I was in America. I learned a lot about like fashion and stuff. And it kind of developed my own style. Just certain things, man, like I feel like you just envision it and then you become it eventually,
Bro, I had that exact realization since moving to Wentworth Point. I might have been like 3 months ago, I reckon. And I thought to myself, like, because I hold a lot of, I wouldn't say fear or anxiety, but the thought of yourself 10 years from now, it's something that I feel like most people think to themselves like, bro, you know what I mean? Like, I got to be where I need to be.
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
100%. Yeah, I got to make this shit work, bro. Like, yeah, 100%.
Lock the fuck in.
Yeah.
But then I think to myself, the more you do live in the future, you know, you do start to develop more anxiety and pressure and all this stuff. So I imagine myself 10 years from now, which I'm always doing. But then I took a moment and I looked back 10 years from now in the past. And I thought, and I realized like 16, 17-year-old me wanted to be me today. Yeah. Everything from the look, the style, the confidence, the tattoos, the fucking... Bro, the misses, the car, the fucking everything. Like, it's like I genuinely prayed to be where I'm at today. So I can worry and think to myself as much as I want, like, oh, I'm not where I thought I was going to be. Yeah. I'm exactly where I wanted to be.
100%,
you know? 100%. So then 10 years from now, it actually gives me faith. It actually gives me proof before my promise that, like, oh, shit, I'm going to be that guy, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And I don't know if you're like me, but, like, before I say that point, actually, that kind of goes to what we're talking about, how your goal is always changing. Your goal is always changing, but you don't realize that you've achieved that like the reason it changes is because you've achieved that stage, you know?
But then when you are envisioning then, say, into the future, because it's, yes, it does create a bit of fear and anxiety looking forward, and it's good to have as much reflection back as it is forward. But what do you see yourself from coming for 2026 now that we've about a month or so into the year?
Yeah. So what my goals are for this year, I've come into the year strongly believing in this year is probably the best way to put it. And I'm not somebody who firmly believes in New Year's resolutions. I believe in like if you say you're going to go to the gym on Monday, just go today. Like, you know, today is Monday, you know? So I'm that person where it's like, do it today, do it now. But I've had this overwhelming feeling for this year that like a lot of big things are going to happen. And I'm very much trusting the process, but my goals that I can do to kind of do my part to play is I'm dropping a lot more music this year. So I've actually got a song coming out on the 27th of February. So that will be my first release of this year. And then pretty much going with song for song for the next few months, testing different things out, seeing where that lands me. I've got a few different opportunities for shows coming up. So I just did a show the day that we did the Pop the Balloon, actually. So went from Pop the Balloon straight to that show. And then, I've got a few shows coming up in March. Yeah, man, just growing, bro. I genuinely believe that this year will be a big year of growth in the music industry for me. And I think like it's an overwhelming feeling that I can't shake. It's like a delusional feeling where I'm like, no, it's about to happen. Like something good's going to happen, you know? So for me, I'm just strongly believing that and, you know, just continuing on this journey, dropping. Last year was a year of, I think I networked a lot like last year, and I really built a solid new network because I had a good network, but a few of my connections were older, might not have had as much pull or be able to achieve the things that I wanted to do. So last year, one of my main focuses was like, okay, how can I improve my network and get people in my circle, or at least believing in me to the point where they're willing to give me opportunities? And that's what I did. And so this year it's about capitalizing on that and, you know, just, getting bigger opportunities from the people that I've met. And, we're all plotting to do some crazy things. So,
that's mad, bro.
Yeah, man.
Because the output will all come from the input, which sounds like you're familiar with, bro. Like the more effort you put in, then the more reward you get for it. We reap the fruits, you know what I mean? Like, what's the saying? We reap the fruits of our rewards.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah,
always forgot it at that point.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's mad, bro. Because I've known this is going to be a very powerful year for a long time. I've even said in 2024 going to 2025, I said 2026 will be a great year if we go in sprinting. Yes. So we have to really rush through 2024, put in as much effort as we can.
Yeah.
And I feel like in 2025 was a really good year, but 2026 kind of felt like, well, the universe kind of felt paused for a bit.
Yeah, I agree, man. This year feels like a big like energy shift, but last year I felt very stagnant.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't necessarily like, I still had a lot of massive opportunities happen last year, but I just felt stagnant in a lot of different aspects of my life, and music was one of them. And it was just an energy I couldn't shake. But my thought was always 2026 is like a crazy year. Like even from the beginning of last year, I thought that when things started to slow down or maybe not happen the way that I thought it would happen, I was like, nah, next year is like the one, you know, like, it's a very weird
it's a weird shift, bro, that I feel like you can kind of feel, and I feel like 2026 to me is the year of input.
Yeah.
It's fucking go.
Yeah.
All the way up, and to be honest, it might even this year might go for 18 months, bro. You know,
yeah, exactly.
It might be a
That's
long
it,
ass year, bro.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
but I can feel what's coming like after this year's done. You know what I mean? And I think that it's a test.
Yeah,
this year's a real good test, bro. And I don't know. I don't play on too much into the whole online conspiracy world of like, this is the year. If you don't fucking lock in now, then you're fucked forever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have fear that things aren't going to work out, but I just feel like with the right intentions, it can work out better than we expected.
Oh, for sure. I was actually talking to someone recently who is into numerology. Not really my thing. It's not that I don't believe in it, I just never really looked into it. But she was saying that this year is a 1 year, and I asked her what that meant, because I was like, what the fuck does a 1 year mean, right? She said a 1 year is supposed to be a year of change. It's supposed to be like it's like a brand new beginning. It's like, it's a very good year to start new businesses, or it's going to be an impactful year for businesses, and people who put in the effort will reap rewards. And when she said that, it kind of, I don't know, I resonated with it, I guess, because I was like, that's how I've been feeling, you know, like I've been saying this, and I've been feeling this too. So
the numerology world's interesting, bro. Like, I'm not into it. Like, I don't understand it, but I know the people that are into it. Like, I've had some people tell me conversations and stories about how like they follow certain numbers, they're their numbers, and they like, bro, they track them and they do whatever that they see the number, they go for the number, and like, but they end up in crazy positions.
Man. There's this one dude I saw on TikTok who analyzes like birthdays and like stuff, and says like, oh, if you're born on this day, like you're a leader, and if you're born on this day, you're meant to be wealthy. I remember one time I had, see, this is the part that I don't subscribe to, right? Because as you probably can tell from our conversation, I don't like limiting beliefs. I don't like that you can't do this, or I could never do this. For me, I'm like, if there's a 13% chance to be a millionaire, why can't I be the 13? Like, I am the 13. You know, it's as simple as that. So I had this lady sit down with me one time, and I don't even know how we got on this. She's an older lady, and she started just plotting out numbers, and she was like, oh, what's your birth date? Blah, blah, blah. I'm born on the 27th of March in 2000. So she was like, oh, like blah, blah, blah. And then she said something about how my numbers don't equate to like money, and that like I'm not good with money, and that like I'll never have like huge loads of money because like my numbers. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this is not accurate to my lifestyle whatsoever. So I don't know, bro. Stuff like that, I'm like, but I think that that's an important part of even religion. I think you have to take what resonates and leave the rest.
Take what you want and leave the rest, bro. It's one of my favorite sayings.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, bro.
But unfortunately, bro, we're gonna have to get to the end of the episode.
Yeah,
right?
no, that's all good. I
never want to get here because like I genuinely have such a mad time meeting people, having a conversation, and learning. And bro, the journey you've been on has been interesting to say the least, bro. You know, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm enjoying this familiarity too with the higher power and the faith, and for me, Christianity is my pathway to trying to discover the truth. I think everyone's truth seeking. It's what we kind of do as humans. We've been doing it since the dawn of time. We're looking for the truth. If we have a reason to be here, it's to find out why. You know what I mean? And then everything that comes with it is who, what, when, how, bro, all these things. Yeah. But I've been thinking about this as well lately, because I've been having a conversation with a lot of people who are faith driven, a lot of people who aren't, and then people say don't believe in God. I'm a science guy.
Yeah.
I think everyone who's a God guy is a science guy.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I believe in science. Like, it's fucking, it's physical. You can't not believe in it.
Yeah. So it's interesting because science to me is the language of God. It's how we explain the proof of God. Bro. That's just. And yeah, I feel like I'm being a bit Bible bashy through this conversation.
No,
but, you know,
but I
it's-
get it. And yeah, tying the universe to God, I think is one and the same, you know? Like when people say they believe in the universe, to me, I'm like, okay, you might not believe in like Christianity, for example, but I believe it's almost the same thing, you know? God and the universe, to me, is the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
So
I hear the word Mother Nature, bro, and that to me, I'm like, oh
that
God.
one's exactly. That one sends me a little bit, but like, it's all the same to me. But yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. Well, bro, I've got high hopes and high beliefs in your year 2026
Thanks,
moving
man.
forward,
Same with
bro.
you, bro. Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's cool because I didn't expect to go the pop the balloon and be able to bump into you and have this conversation, but I'm
Everything
very glad
happens
it
for a
worked
reason.
out.
So,
Very keen to watch this episode, Pop the Balloon, when it comes out.
Yeah. Be good.
And also, bro, moving forward, like I'm gonna binge your music, binge the fuck out of it.
No, I appreciate it.
And I'm gonna chuck in as many vlogs as I can moving forward.
Cheers,
as well,
bro. I appreciate
I think
that.
it'd be sick.
That'd be hectic, bro.
Yeah, I'll definitely want to have you back on. All right, at the end of every mad episode, I want to have a second one. Let's grind for a bit.
Yeah.
And then come back and I'll be in a new studio, 100%.
100%, bro. I'm keen, man. I'm
Yeah,
keen to be
gang.
back on, and I love what you're doing.
Nah, I appreciate it, bro.
up.
I think a Penrith boy as well. As soon as I heard that from the jump, I said,
man, gotta rep the riff, bro. That's it, bro. That's it.
So I appreciate you for coming on, bro.
No, for sure,
appreciate
man. No, I appreciate it.
And for everyone listening as well, thank you also. Thank you for making it to the end of the episode. It was amazing this week. There'll be another one next week. That's all right. Perfect, bro.
Easy.
You killed it. Time goes quick, bro. It's 6 o'clock.
I ain't tripping for the funds. Yeah, I won't start. I ain't tripping, I'm a stunt.